Hey, it's Tony with lidl.doodle. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm going to do some sharing of journaling pages tonight, or ideas for journaling pages. This is the time of the school year where my art students are working on their final project, which is a semester-long thing that I have them do of 15 independent pages. And it got me thinking, because I'm helping them come up with ideas, that, oftentimes when we have blank pages in our journals or we're just kind of stuck, we don't know what to do, I just thought I would share a few things that I do in my journal when I've got a blank page staring at me. So I'm going to show, I think 6 I picked, and 4 I've already done, and 2 I'm going to show you actually how I do them. So we'll see if this is of any inspiration to you. So if you've been with my channel at all, or you know me in real life, you know that I love doing mark making pages. These pages just make me happy. I have an entire sketchbook dedicated just to these things. I do this with my students. They love it because it is such a simple act of creating shapes and layers, and I challenge them to pick intentional color schemes. So, I might say, hey, pick analogous colors, or pick, a complementary color scheme, and it forces them to get back into the ideas of color theory. It's super simple. I can bust these out, in 15 minutes, or I can take a while and spend longer. This I did with markers. I do these with watercolor. I do these with acrylic markers. I do these with colored pencils. I prefer either marker or watercolor with these. Very basic. Okay. So the second thing I'm going to show you as a way to fill a journal page. And you know what? I'm just going to tell you right up front, these are not deep thinking pages. These are, hey, I just want to kind of check out. I want to do some doodling in my journal. We've been rewatching Game of Thrones these last few weeks, and I've had that on, and this is just kind of mindless spending some time in my journal to finish or to fill up some pages. So I encourage my students to play around with different fonts. And if I do a second video like this, I will show you a quote layout. And that's the purpose of playing around with different fonts, is I like to do a lot of quote layouts in my journals and my sketchbooks. And when I have kind of a font menu, I can go back to it and go, oh, what are some cool fonts? So with this one, I just picked, I'm going to just write the color green. I'm going to create a green page. I grabbed all of the green pens that I had access to at that point. I was at school, so I didn't have all my fountain pens, but I had my acrylic pens. I did have one green fountain pen that I did that with. These were all my brush pens, some of my Fude pens, etc. Grab some washi tape. I actually made a mistake here, and with my feeling that I just need to incorporate mistakes instead of tearing the whole page out, I just put a piece of washi tape there, and then I thought, okay, I will just incorporate that, put some more washi tape around. So why not just create a page of fonts and just write the same? This was very meditative, as kind of dorky as it is. It just kind of is relaxing. So there's a way to fill an empty page. This next one is super dorky, but why not just create a page of doodles? And if you know me, you know that drawing is not what I gravitate toward. So I just doodled some spring things, and I had just purchased these new acrylic markers for my art classes, and I wanted to try them out. So I just grabbed them and thought, okay, I'm going to see how they act on my Leuchtturm paper. Pretty good. No bleed through, tiny bit of ghosting, but why not just whatever the season is or whatever is on your mind, just a page of doodles just to play around. The next idea that I want to share is a page of wins. So this might be an ongoing thing that you do in your journal. You can see I just did this for week 1 of May. And obviously I'm not filling it up and I'm entering the second week of May. So I'm probably just going to like do another little banner here and do week 2. So what are some things that felt like wins this week? And I believe that when we tell our brains to look for the wins, it's more intuitive to be paying attention to the things that we're doing well with and that we are, you know, feeling like we're winning with life. I mean, even though like one of my wins was just that I took a personal day. I did some food prep. I walked on my prep period at work. I signed up for a short story contest that is for the whole month of May. I finished reading 2 books in the first week of May. So those little things, you train your brain to start looking for evidence of the positive things in life. And I'm just a real proponent of that. The last 2 things I'm going to share, I will actually show you how I do them. So the first thing is called neurographic art, and it was invented by this guy back in, was it 2014 or 2012? And I mean, I don't know, like when somebody invents something like this, like, I don't know, maybe it was just the first person to like coin the phrase or really develop it. You know, it's kind of like Zentangling, like this couple invented Zentangling while they were at like a mountain retreat or something like that. Anyway, so I'm going to just show you quickly. This is half done. And so step 1, I'm going to show you step 1. So how I set this up, I'll just do this on a separate piece of paper. And I do this in my art classes. This is something that is often done in art therapy as well, but taking any kind of pen. So normally in class we'll start with Sharpies, but you know, if a kid is sensitive to Sharpie smell or you know, I'm doing this at home with just a gel pen, there's really no like special materials or anything that you need. So just creating the lines to start with. And if you'll notice, as I'm doing this, my whole arm is moving. It's not just my hand. So I have kids do this because it gives you just more flow, more freedom. And oh, I hit my other hand there. So then you have this kind of base lines, and the idea behind the neurographic art is going through and softening all of the intersections so you don't have any hard crosses here. And so we just go through. You can see just as I've started to soften those intersections, they're still not real smooth. Well, then what I do, I'll move to this one that I've been working on, is I will vary the line width or the width of the intersection so that I get that smooth line that I'm looking for. Once I have all of those intersections softened, then I go through and I did this with marker. I've done it with watercolor. Colored pencil is a little bit more tedious, I find personally, but my preference is always watercolor or marker. And I will color all the sections in. And then for this one, I Zentangle in different sections. I picked a color palette, just kind of some spring colors, and started to just go for it. What I find is even when I think I'm done, I go, oh, wait, there's an intersection that I missed. And so I'll go back through and I'll soften that and see if you can see, like right there, it's not smooth. So I will go ahead and make this line thicker. And then once you end up with a final product, it looks pretty cool. And it's a very simple very meditative. I can take an hour to do something just this, on this size paper. This could easily take me an hour of just going back through and just softening the intersections and coloring and varying the line width, doing the Zentangles. This is really one of my favorite things to do, as we have Game of Thrones on this week at least. And it's something that you can just create in your sketchbook. It's like my goal in my art classes and with sharing anything, fountain pen related too, but anything that I share with like my artwork, like I don't consider myself like some fantastic artist, but I want to make kids and my YouTube friends love filling up a sketchbook. I don't want to make my students hate art. I want people to see that art just isn't being a fantastic drawer or a fantastic sculptor or painter. I'm self-taught, and I spent a lot of years of my life thinking I wasn't creative because I couldn't draw and I couldn't paint, and I had never taken a ceramics class. So I had it in my brain that I just wasn't creative, and I think differently now. I just think that creativity comes in a lot of different spaces. And I know in at least our public schools in where I live, maybe not across the United States, I think sometimes we make kids hate art, just like we make them hate reading by forcing them to all read, the same books that, I wouldn't want to even read. We don't show kids that being creative can just be doodles in their sketchbooks and that they can fill sketchbooks up. I mean, obviously we need to teach them the elements of art and composition and why we do things the way we do, but that they can have fun with it and it can be low pressure. Okay, I'm going off now, sorry. Anyway, it's something I feel really passionate about just because I know that I wasted a lot of years just kind of beating myself up thinking, oh, I wish I was more creative. And it wasn't until my first daughter was born and I picked up a camera and fell in love with it and taught myself all things photography and became a pretty good photographer that I went, maybe I can apply this to other things. And, years later, my kids like my art class, so I think I'm doing okay. All right, I will stop yapping about this now, but see, I can just get carried away doing this. For real. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show you as a way to fill up a page. This is something that sometimes it turns out great and sometimes not so much. But I went ahead and started this one, and I'm just going to do just a section, but I'll show you a couple other pieces that I've done like this. So I do a watercolor wash. This one I picked some different colors, and then I went through and I did a little metallic watercolor on top, and I let it kind of blossom or bloom, as they call, where you get like a little extra water there, and then once it dries, it gives you kind of that outlining. You'll see that a lot. It's kind of like the when inks are doing some cool shading things. And once it dries, I will look for the pattern, the lines, the outlines, and I'll just go through with the gel pen and very kind of lightly, almost shaky, you can see that, we'll do just kind of follow those lines loosely. Okay, so I think you kind of get the idea. This is just how I start it. This is definitely not where I would leave it. Sometimes I will grab a fountain pen of a color that might complement it. So this pen is my Leonardo Momento Zero. I have like a purple with, I think I might have some green shimmer in here. I might choose to do my outlining with a fountain pen that has a similar color some kind of fun color that I think looks good with it. And this is just the start. I would take an hour to finish this, so I'll just show you. Like this is one that I did just in my little sketch, my Zentangle sketchbook, where I just did some orange and red ink, and then I went over it with, oh, and that looks like there's some shimmer there, with some fountain pens that had some shimmer, and I just did some doodling in there. Same with this one. I mean, and again, these aren't fantastic. They're just fun and mindless. And I don't know about you, but after a long day, and especially of being around teenagers, well, pretty much 24/7, because I have a teenager at home and I have 150 teenagers at school, I just like to just kind of check out and just do some things that I don't have to think too hard about. Oh, wrong page. Anyway, so I'll go through and I will do some patterns in here. I might change up the color of pens I use. And, you know, I like to do my Zentangling sometimes in these. I'll see how it looks once I get it all outlined and what I think like the natural kind of organic flow of those lines and what it needs. So if I do a second one of these videos where, because I have some other ideas of things to share, these are just 6, then I will show the final product of this as well as the neurographic art. So that's all I'm going to share. I hope that maybe you will feel inspired to try one of these ideas out. If you're a person who stares at a blank page and you just don't know what to do, here's some ideas for you. Do a mark making page. I've got a video somewhere in the list of videos that I've done of where I did one of these as a demonstration. It's easy. It's mindless. You don't have to think about it. And in my opinion, it's just very therapeutic and relaxing. So anyway, I hope this gave you some ideas. And if you have any comments, thoughts, questions, suggestions, if you have something, what's your go-to for a blank page when you're staring at the blank page and you need some inspiration? Is there something that you enjoy doing? I would love to hear that. So I appreciate if you are still sticking around, and I will see you in the next video.